Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession and the Chancellor.
I declare that the 601st Convocation of McMaster University for the conferring of degrees is now in session.
Please be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Jeremiah Hurley, Dean of Social Sciences. It's my privilege and my pleasure on behalf of McMaster University to welcome all of you, graduates and guests, to this convocation ceremony. I would like to start by recognizing and acknowledging that we meet today on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and the Haudenosaunee Nations, and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge some of the notable leaders who are joining me on stage today. Our Chancellor, Dr. Suzanne Labarge, Provost and Vice President Academic and today's Master of Ceremonies, Dr. David Farrar, Associate Deans, Directors, Chairs, faculty members, and honored guests. Before we start our formal program, may I first ask everyone in the hall to switch off any electronic device that may ring or beep during the ceremony. So, as Dean of the Faculty, let me emphasize how proud we are of you, our graduates, and all of your notable accomplishments. One of the most gratifying aspects of being an educator is to witness the transformation take place as students advance in their studies, gain the skills, confidence, and experience that will serve as a foundation for lifelong learning. And to the families of today's graduates, we know how proud you are of them and how important your support has been as they've pursued their studies. Congratulations to you as well. As many of you know, McMaster prides itself on being a research-intensive, student-centered university. And the Faculty of Social Sciences takes seriously both of these facets of McMaster. As a student-centered university, Social Sciences has an unwavering commitment to excellence and innovation in undergraduate education. We strive to provide our students with the opportunities, both inside and outside the classroom, to learn and grow intellectually and as engaged citizens. On the one hand, we've striven to provide you with the concepts, the ideas, the frameworks, and the skills needed to understand the key challenges in containing society and our global community. So many of these challenges, the changing nature of work, displacement, migration, political divisiveness, economic inequality, environmental challenge and degradation, are at root social problems, and they're best understood through the lens of the social sciences. But being able to analyze such problems to gain greater understanding is not enough. You must also be equipped to engage with others, from your families, friends, and local organizations to international actors, to bring about the desired change that truly advances societal well-being. Such engagement then leads to greater insight and understanding. And so we hope that the learning opportunities that we've given you, combined with your extracurricular activities, have created an exceptional student experience that has given you the skills and critical abilities needed both in your professional life and to make you the kind of engaged citizens that will foster a vibrant society dedicated to the well-being of our communities. And so again, I'd like to congratulate our graduates. You're going to hear that word a lot today, both in today's ceremony and throughout the rest of the day. But I hope you won't tire of it, but rather let it prompt you to reflect on and be proud of yourselves and all of you've achieved in the last few years. So welcome. And now, I'd like to welcome our Chancellor, Dr. Suzanne Labarge, to deliver her welcoming remarks.
Welcome, honored guests, staff, faculty, families, friends, and most importantly, graduands. This is an exciting day for all of you who are graduating today, as well as for all those people who have supported you and stood behind you, and in many cases have had a key role in you being here today. You've achieved a great deal to get here, and you should all be very proud of your success and looking forward to what the future might bring. Congratulations, and enjoy the ceremony.
My name is David Farrar, and I have the great pleasure of acting as your Master of Ceremonies for today's service. I would now like to welcome Dean Jeremiah Hurley back to the podium to present our honorary degree recipient.
Madam Chancellor, by the authority of the Senate of McMaster University, I have the honor to present Michael Deere. Michael began his career at McMaster, joining what was then called the Department of Geography in 1974 as an assistant professor. For the next dozen years, he remained at McMaster, rising to the rank of professor and holding a cross-appointment with the School of Social Work. He then joined the Department of Geography in the School of Policy, Planning, and Development at the University of Southern California as a professor, and then moved to UC, University of California, Berkeley in 2009, where he is now Professor Emeritus of City and Regional Planning. Dr. Deere's research has included groundbreaking work on mental health, deinstitutionalization, and homelessness, work that began with his field work here in Hamilton while he was at McMaster. More recently and presciently, he turned his focus to the nature of borders and their impact on society. He won the Globe Book Award for his book, Why Walls Won't Work: Repairing the U.S.-Mexico Divide. And he published this before the contentious 2016 presidential campaign in the U.S. More recently, he edited Geohumanities, Art, History, and Text at the Edge of Place, which focuses on transdisciplinary intersections among geography, environmental design, and the humanities. Dr. Deere has served on the editorial boards of many respected scholarly journals and was the founding editor of Society in Space, Environment and Planning. He's been in advisory boards for organizations including the Los Angeles Forum for Architecture and Urban Design and the Lewis Center for Regional Policy Studies at UCLA. He's also held visiting academic positions in Italy, the Netherlands, Australia, Hong Kong, the United Kingdom, and the United States, while maintaining a consultancy practice for clients ranging from arts organizations to governments. In the last 2 decades, Dr. Deere has become increasingly involved in the arts community, most notably by curating or co-curating exhibitions at sites including the USC Fisher Gallery, the USC Doheny Memorial Library, the Richmond Center for the Arts, and Los Angeles' Craft and Folk Art Museum. An elected member of both the Canadian Institute of Planners and the Royal Town Planning Institute of Great Britain, Dr. Dean has received numerous honors, including the John Simon Guggenheim Memorial Fellowship, the USC Associates Award for Excellence in Research, the American Planning Association California Division Award, the Association of American Geographers Distinguished Scholarship Award, the USC General Education Teaching Award, and the USC Mellon Award for Excellence in Mentoring Graduate Students. He's an elected fellow of the Learned Society of Wales and an elected member of the Los Angeles Institute for the Humanities. He's also an honorary professor at the Bartlett School of Planning at University College London. And so, Madam Chancellor, I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Deere back to McMaster, this time not to launch his career, but rather to celebrate its immense impact and influence. In recognition of his many contributions, most notably to geography and planning in the public interest, I ask you to confer upon Michael Deere the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Michael Deere, by the authority of McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa in McMaster University, with all the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. Congratulations. And I'll get you to sign over here. I would now like to invite Dr. Deere to deliver the convocation address.
You have no idea how glad I am to be back in Hamilton, and especially to McMaster University. So bonjour, bienvenue, hello everybody, and welcome. I'm really happy to be back in We the North. Madam Chancellor, President Dean, honored guests, graduands, it's my privilege and my pleasure to offer the convocation address celebrating the 2019 graduates of McMaster University. Congratulations to you all who are receiving degrees today. This, of course, includes me. So permit me to say that the honorary degree that I've just received is a very special meaning for me because I came here in 1974 and I'm back again now. And I thank you most sincerely, university people, for this recognition. I need vodka. I didn't say that if this is being taped. The convention at convocation is that guest speaker, me, gets to make a speech on the deeper meanings of life, such as what's going to happen after the Raptors win the national basketball. And I also have to offer you uplifting advice about your future, which is a real joke coming from me. So here's my Twitter-length guide to life after graduation. 1, follow your heart, but don't forget to pay your bills. The uppermost question in your mind now, I know, is who am I? What will I become? Frankly, I can't answer these questions for you, but I've got a few tips. Do something that you love and something that you care about. Life is an adventure, so be prepared to take some risks. And whatever you do, let there be fun in your life. Just don't forget that there's bills to pay at the end of the week, and so keep an eye on the money thing, okay? 2, success is good, but friends are better. Top of the list of your friends, I know, are probably your parents. Just ask yourself, where would I have been without them? The short answer is, of course, unborn. But the point I was trying to make was it's your parents who delivered you to this exalted position today. So my message to them on your behalf is thank you, Mac parents. Of course, there are others that you cherish. Family, teachers, friends, pets, smart people that you met at Mac. So let me tell you something about my experience. There are 4 people who are very special to me who are in our company today. My wife, who has been my partner and collaborator for over 40 years. My oldest Canadian friend. We started work on the same day at Mac in 1974. A former doctoral student of mine who is now a grown-up professor at McMaster, and a Mac person who nominated me for this honorary degree. Success is good, I understand, but it's friends who make things possible. With gratitude for their support, I dedicate my honorary degree to these people. 3, we live in troubled times, but who doesn't? There's a lot of talk now about the speed of change, the crisis of Western democracy, environmental Armageddon, robots who will go to the bathroom for you, all this sort of thing. But honestly, when I graduated in the mid-60s, things didn't seem all that great then either. People worried that the world was coming to an end because we had the Cuban Missile Crisis that brought the world to the brink of a nuclear war. There was an actual war in Vietnam that caused years of senseless carnage. And we had Richard Nixon, a US president who found it necessary to say, "I am not a crook." Except, of course, he was. Ironically, there's another US president who recently announced, "I am not a Russian agent." But we don't know the end of that story yet. My point is, life is messy all the time. The wizard Gandalf once told Frodo at the end of a very trying day. This is my very rough translation of Tolkien. "Get real, dude. Life is a crapshoot. We don't choose the times that we're born into. We just do our best with the cards we've been dealt." But Gandalf left something out. You can improve the odds in your favor. As Louis Pasteur once pointed out, chance favors the mind that is prepared. And believe me, from this moment on, your Mac degree hugely increases your chances of success. I am, if you haven't figured this out already, a big fan of McMaster University. I could not have imagined a better place to start my career. Forgive me if I'm nostalgic for a second or two. My first winter, I got up at 5 o'clock every Friday morning for something called ice time. Personally, I thought it was a bit early for cocktails, but I went anyway. I spent most of my time flat on my back as Canadians in T-shirts blew past me on the ice screaming, "He shoots, he scores, he shoots, he scores." It took all my energy simply to stand upright and try to avoid bleeding on people. Later, I was invited to rituals called parties. Here, roving gangs of adults would assemble, chewing on hockey pucks and trailing fear-old children in disguise as maple leaves. We'd binge watch on tapes of USSR Canada hockey games, savoring each one, then we'd rewind and play them all again. As winter thickened around Hamilton, my Canadian education curdled. Walking one day to work, I got frostbite on my left earlobe while crossing over the windswept 403 at Longwood. I think it was late May. But the pivotal event was my first contact with the Holy Grail of Hamilton. It was a sublime encounter which lifted me to an exalted plane and transformed me into a Canadian citizen. It was a Tim Hortons honey-glazed raisin donut. I still have my Canadian passport, but today's Timbits are not nearly so tasty as they once were. I think it's the effect of NAFTA, but I haven't been able to establish the link. Your McMaster University is now number 4 in the ranking of Canadian universities, and its star continues to rise. I congratulate all these venerable, visionary people who have contributed to create this national treasure. I get most of my news these days from the New York Times. The article usually opens this way: researchers at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario have discovered that. Every time I see that, I feel happy. I don't know why. I left Hamilton 30 or more years ago, but I think Mac gets in your genes. That's G-E-N-E-S, not what you wear, although, well, no. I can't go there. My last words, because you're all moved and really we need to get on with your celebrations. We all have Mac in our genes now, everybody in this room. It's only one part of your identity, of course, because you'll be an artist, a philanthropist, a millionaire, or whatever you'll be. But I know that one day you too, like me, will say, this is the place where my fabulous career began. So, my dear graduates, fellow graduates, my hopes for you are these: that you'll always remember McMaster University and speak highly of her, and that you'll support McMaster University in any way you can. Give back to Mac. Make it a part of who you are. Your identity question, you're a McMaster graduate. And it's really something that you should not ever give up, not ever forget about. Mac is in your genes, so give back to Mac. Those are good slogans that maybe even the Chancellor would like to use in her next presentation. Mac is in your genes, give back to Mac. Don't want to get too carried away here, so this is my last. Madam Chancellor, if you please, set a course for warp speed, and let's get these McMaster graduates out into the world. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you. Bonne chance. I'll be back.
Thank you very much, Dr. Deer, and I'm not quite sure what to say in response to all of that. I must say, it's amazing how you can get some profound messages across in ways that I have never heard before. I just regret I wasn't here when he taught geography. And I must say that we're very lucky. One of the privileges of being chancellor is I get to be involved in the selection and the granting of the honorary degree. And we look for people that you can look up to. We look for people who have contributed to their profession, to their communities. And Dr. Deere is such a wonderful example of it. I am glad to know that despite living in California, he remembers Canadian winters. But we are absolutely delighted that he's also, we're linking in more tightly by finally giving him a degree from McMaster. He contributed to so many other people's degrees that it's the least we can do for what he has contributed both to his profession, to his communities, and to McMaster. Thank you.
So Dr. Deere said get on with the important part of the ceremony, and that's just what we're going to do. I am now going to present the graduands to our Chancellor for admission to their degrees. Will the graduands please stand? Madam Chancellor, on behalf of McMaster University Senate, I present to you these candidates and those in absentia, in order that you may confer the appropriate degrees upon them, and I bear witness that they are worthy and suitable.
Graduands, by my authority and that of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to admit those before me today and those in absentia to their individual degrees at McMaster University, with all the rights and privileges pertaining to those degrees. My sincere congratulations to you all. Please be seated.
Graduates, I now ask you to join me on stage so that the Chancellor and I may welcome you to the McMaster community of scholars.
Ladies and gentlemen, so that each graduate's name may be heard, it would be appreciated if during the presentation of the graduands, you would hold your collective applause to the end of each degree category. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Priscilla Menderos. Nadine Shami. Sanid Ur-Rehman Rana. Nguyen Tang Quang Trong. Lan Wei. Hayden King. Soren Mitre. Christopher John Jensen. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Arts. Meng Kui Hao.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Arts Honours. Mirit Abdul Malik. Kelvin Ni Lante Adi. Ayla Alam. Sofia Omekope Alegaine. Tyler James Anand. Brandon Kyle Arantes. Michaela Arnold. Neha Arun. Jefferson Ari. Irada Askarova. Jonas Adam Benavicius. Gurleen Bath. Hamandeep Bath. Jessica Bynan. Samantha Marie Borelli. Christina Megan Brown. Ellen Christiana Buchholder. Robert Peter Buttrim. Amna Butt. Quinlan Connor Carruthers. Savneet Kaur Chima. Daniela Costa da Silva. Natasha Dow. Joshua Vincenzo Di Stefano. Christine Huang Do. Danielle Doan. Hanna Dvorsky. Matthew Ryan Enright. Andrew Iskander Gergies. Stephen Thomas Fayaza. Jesse Alexander James, Fawcett. Tristan Fells. Esem Mohammed Fendish. Sarah Marie Figueredo. Tate Avery Gabrielle Garlow. Monica Gaidu. Alyssa Livia Gentile. Sawyer Holm Girl. Ahad Shah Gilani. Connor Manuel Gillies. Logan Vincent Gouge. Kieran Alexander Grant. Michaela Francesca Graziani. Presley Greenaway. Mitchell Grice. Cameron Habis Reutinger. Massa Hamwi. Jocelyn Heaton. Jeanette Abigail Hernandez. Leo Hong. Tajrian Anon Hussain. Minxiang Huang. Alana Marie Yakonis. Gregory John Lawrence Yaruso. Tristan Yemsimanith. James Efiani Isibor. Noreen Ismail. Christopher Raymond Yatskill. Sana Jaffa. Tiffany Jaglal. Jayitha Jararatnam. Shalomi Ravisha Jayatunge. Dominika Yazviets. Melissa Janou. Manroop Kaur Johal. Leif C. Johansen. Lucas Frederick Johnson. Harriet Martha Jopling. Bishali Chiron. Megan Kathleen Kavanagh. Carolina Camila Kulesha. Paulina Maria Kwasny. Lillian Lado. Brendan Michael Leahy. Chuk Ying Jennifer Lam. Brittany Taylor Ivy Lance. Joanna Laskut. Victoria Elizabeth Lavallée. Rui Kang Lin. Alison Elaine Loveridge. Stephanie Morgan Lucas. Anfisa Lyasota. Desmond Ma. Ashley Caroline McGregor. Vicky Marie Machado. Miriam Korkis Malko. Joshua David Paul Markle. Nicholas Victor Martino. Rachel Massey. Joshua Michael Afonso Massotti. Sarah Mattinson. Azim Mavani. Raymond Keith McCarthy. Emma McCarty. Trey Allen McLeod. Chelsea Raya Dawn Moore. Daniel Joseph Mosanef. Avi Maluki. Samantha Dang Nguyen. Megan Brittany Noonan. Casey Notman. Morgan Louise O'Brien. Katrina Arya Olenyuk. Ryan Amaral Orfeo. Lucas Polladino. Natalie Papalia. Howard Park. Brenda Passariello. Mitul Hamendra Patel. Uwais Patel. Anushka Katerina Pau. Natalia Pavlovsky. Leah Colleen Peacock. Bianca Stephanie Perez Azucena. Daniel Alexander Perich. Jenna May Peterson. Mila Pickfield. Kyle Alexander Pinheiro. Rachel Pollock. Emma Kathleen Polsky. Natalie Rose Protulipats. Rowan Kadora. Hannah McBride Ramalho. Alessandro Randazzo. Vinod Ranganathan. Cassandra Olivia Reed. Kate Lynn Robles. Liam Rodenberg. Anna Maria Roman. Karen Sahota. Catherine Salinas. Elisa Rose Salituri. Ariana Kira Sami. Jessica Ann Samotulka. Rebecca Janet Sampson. Reina Savidis Giorgio. Madison Celine Schuler. Alessandra Marisa Sferaza. Arham Shah. Umaya Shahzad. Susan Schlemoon. Carmen Silva Wilinski. Tomislav Sitac. Marilyn Somo. Julia Sorbara. Sabiba Taslim Sultana. Tanya Radzwa Tafa. Yangdan Tan. David Santos Tavares. Sakana Thanika Segaram. Amos Zuriel Chio. Jordan Tower. Mackenzie Ann Townsend. Sergeant Uthaya Kumaran. Ellen Morgan Vainot. Corinne Viska. Chen Hao Wang. Samra Wasim. Yutsen Weng. Danielle Widden Lalich. William Wilford. Morgan Noel Willard. Nicholas John Williams. Daniel Avrum Wiseman. Evan William Martin Wolfe. Bailey Elizabeth Wooldridge. Sarah Ann Warkun. Jacob Calvin Wright. Fan Wu. Hilnaya Prosper Wuranti. Chen Yao Shu. Melania Yakub. Ying Yan. Shi Yao Yu. Wen Hao Yun. Hilary Beth Zorgtrager. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Arts. Alexandra Nicole Arsenault. Jiao Bai. Alexander Reed Bartoshik. Yasmin Alexandra Bell. Rachel Burrows. Feng Yang Cao. Jacob Alexander Clare. Lucas Daniel Corsetti. Michael Anthony Davoud. Stefano Orlando De Feo. Neva Aurora D'Amelio. Lara Ali El Derini. Laura Elliott. Tyler Lee Christopher Iluk. Eric Fitzsimmons. Jenny Greywell. Andrew Robert Hazel. Nasir Hersey. Parker James Hewick. Brock Michael David Hewitt. Tyler William Holly. Lindsay Elizabeth Anna Hutton. Sarah Wynn. Farhat Jiwa. Jessica Jones. Daniel Khan. Hasim Ranjot Singh Hosa. Seong Hoon Kim. Daniel Kwan. Albin Carl Lebel Wiens. Ai Liang. Kelvin Ka Kwok Lin. Chun Han Lu. Alison Elaine Loveridge. Ken McPherson. Prerna Majumdar. Luke Robert McIver. Muhammad Anik Memon. Candice Maria Mintz. Ethan John David Neal. Colette Krista Neal. Stefan Anthony Joseph Olivieri. Adriana Maria Oltin. Margot Padua. Joseph Paganelli. Javier Francisco Perez Romero. Ahmad Rashid Quader. Rucha Randiera. Mackenzie Brooke Sharman. Ali Sleeman. Jacob Morgan Smith. Brandon Noor Solanki. Alexandra Shafanik. Tania Uthayakumar. Shukui Wang. Yu Wang. Ying Wen. Sarah Williams. Catherine Wood. Yua Xie. Zi Xin Yang. Ariba Zahid. Saida Kisa Zehra. Linshang Zhang.
let's give one more round of applause for all of our newest graduates. I would now like to introduce Ms. Corin Viska, a graduate of the degree Bachelor of Arts from Political Science with a specialization in Public Law and Judicial Studies, who will be delivering the valedictory address.
Good evening, honored guests, Chancellor Labarge, Provost Favar, distinguished faculty, family, and friends. My name is Corin Viska, and it is my great honor to stand before you to represent the Social Sciences graduating class of 2019. I would like to begin by taking the time to recognize and appreciate the people who made this experience possible. Thank you to our families and loved ones for the values you've instilled in us, especially perseverance and integrity. Your constant guidance, support, and endless patience are what got many of us here today. We have worked so hard to succeed because you have showed us what hard work and success looks like. Your unconditional love gave us the security to know that we could do anything. We would not be who we are today without your commitment and support. And even though it all started with you shoving us out of bed every morning to get to school, your guidance has played an immense role in our success. So thank you for assisting us in achieving this significant milestone in our lives. To the faculty and staff who have facilitated our learning, thank you for building relationships with us that allowed us to feel more comfortable taking academic and intellectual risks. Thank you for sharing your passion for knowledge and learning with us. Your excitement has been contagious and has turned us into lifelong learners. The faculty and staff at McMaster have a reputation for going way beyond the call of duty in their dedication to students. I will always remember the way Dr. Alway walked into a class cracking a can of Coke and instantly making learning so much fun. Thank you for the knowledge you've shared, the education you've provided, the influence you've become, the goals you've helped us reach, and for all of the guidance along the way. As much as we've all grown intellectually during our time here at McMaster, I for one can say that some of the best lessons I've learned have not come from lectures, textbooks, or seminars, but from my peers. So thank you for making this possible. From challenging perceptions and ideas in respectful debate, to having someone to watch our laptops as we ran to get our third coffee to pull an all-nighter in Club Thode, we really couldn't have done it without each other. At McMaster, we believe that bringing together the best and brightest minds in a spirit of openness, inclusiveness, and collaboration are what makes a brighter world possible. Within the Faculty of Social Sciences, we are privileged to be able to explore both abstract ideas and pressing questions we face as a society today. With the world changing so rapidly and unpredictably, there is no better time to study social sciences. Many of you sitting before me today will change the world in some amazing ways. If we've learned anything as social science students, it's that we have the ability to be the agents of change. We all enjoy the privilege of having a degree from one of the top 100 universities in the world. With that privilege comes responsibility. I challenge every one of you to take your world-class degree and everything you've learned here at McMaster University to truly make this a brighter world. As our journey at McMaster comes to an end, it's crazy to think about how much we've accomplished. 1,383 days ago, we stepped on McMaster's beautiful campus, but we aren't the same people walking out. I think to who I was back then, inexperienced and scared about what might lie ahead, and unsure about how life would unfold. Although, as I got out of my car, I was welcomed by energetic, excited students in blue suits, and just then, I knew I was home. I have now been one of those energetic, excited students in a blue suit for the past 3 years now, helping other incoming students transition to what will be their home for the next 4 years. So much has changed, so many stories were written. Everyone's story is different, but all of our stories have one common element. We all did it here at McMaster. Our stories have had their fair share of challenges, some different and some similar. If you're anything like me, you can probably relate to one of those challenges being getting lost in the art squad basement. And how many of us learned the hard way not to procrastinate and leave stuff until the last minute? Well, if you've learned this lesson, you also probably found yourself waiting in a long line at the Underground to frantically print off your paper just to run it to the Dropbox before the 4 p.m. deadline. But in each of our stories, there have been also amazing high points. Through our time here, each one of us has built strong relationships with our fellow classmates, peers, and instructors. We have developed connections and memories that will be with us forever. Our individual McMaster journeys have shaped us into the individuals we are today. So here we are, ready to start the next chapter of our lives. Who knows where we'll end up? The possibilities are endless. But no matter where we land, we will always represent blue and yellow, and we will never stop bleeding maroon. It is clear to see that our McMaster journeys have been long, insightful, and challenging, but often it's a journey that teaches you about your destination. As we move forward from today, let us forever carry the sense of community that McMaster has built within us, leave here with the knowledge we've gained, and walk through those countless doors that our experience here at McMaster has unlocked. Today, I say farewell to a class I will always be proud to be a part of. I wish the success in future endeavors, but most of all, I would like to say congratulations to the Social Sciences graduating class of 2019.
Thank you, Corin. May I now introduce Sankit Das, a graduate of the Bachelor of Arts Honors Class of 2018 and a representative of the McMaster Alumni Association. Sankit will now deliver the Alumni Association address.
Hi, everyone. Chancellor, award winners, honorees, faculty, fellow alumni, guests, and especially members of the class of 2019, welcome. If convocation could talk, it might tell you your life is changing, so dress up in a borrowed gown and let your parents take pictures of you. Crossing this stage marks one of the most significant changes in your life. You're moving from your career as a student to a career in a professional capacity, or you're becoming an undergraduate student, or you're moving from an undergraduate degree to a graduate degree. Or maybe you're moving from the goals and duties of university into something more freeform or personal. We all experience transitions in our own way, and no doubt there are many more to come. What won't change is that your experience and the community that you learned while at McMaster will always be with you for life. At times, that connection might feel strong, but at times, that connection might take a backseat to other priorities in your life. But when you do want to turn that lifelong relationship into an activity, a social media connection, volunteering, or any one of the dozen kinds of opportunities, your Alumni Association will be here for you. That's just what we do. You can read about your alma mater, your fellow alumni and classmates in MAC, the news magazine for alumni, in either print or digital, or thoroughly through the monthly newsletter, Maroon Mail. Check out the alumni site on Medium and learn through fellow grads' real lives after MAC, and even learn from the career newsletter Insights. Finally, you can always join alumni communities on social media, such as LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. You are now a member of MAC 10, with programming suited specifically for graduates 10 years after graduation. Whether you're looking for assistance on getting that first job, or as you navigate the next steps in your career, the MMA has a number of resources, events, and programs that help, as well as an alumni career counselor that will offer some fun socials as well. So there are a lot of things that the MMA offer, things like home and auto insurance, or even health and dental. And if you think moving away from Hamilton is going to cut your connection to McMaster, that simply is not the case. If you're diligent with maintaining connection with your community and you stay tuned to emails, you'll get notices for events that might be happening near you. They can't get everywhere, but you may be surprised to see where McMaster events pop up near you. When you leave here today, I know it's likely that nothing I just said will stick with you. And that's fine. I graduated last year, and I forgot a lot. But I do have a few tips for you. One thing I'd suggest is if you rock your MAC swag everywhere and tell everyone that you went to McMaster, you will make some great connections. You'll be surprised to see the people around you that did graduate from McMaster, and at the very least, you'll impress people with your credentials. And do take a few minutes to check out the alumni website, read the emails, and follow posts to learn about your new status as alumni. There's a lot out there for you. After these spring ceremonies, the McMaster Alumni Association is over 200,000 strong. So with that, members of the class of 2019, I welcome you to joining the McMaster Alumni Association, and congratulations on this huge step. We're all very proud of you. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanket. Well, again, congratulations to McMaster's graduating class. I want to return briefly to a number of the themes that reoccurred throughout this ceremony. I would argue that we are living at a pivotal moment in human history. My generation is handing to yours a world in great need of your skills, experience, energy, and perhaps most important, your courage. You are graduating into a world facing many of the most critical and widespread challenges we have encountered. The effects of climate change, of colonization, economic inequities, the changing workforce, food insecurity. We need to meet these challenges with integrity, creativity, humanity, and energy. We need to confront these issues with talent, skills, and knowledge that you are only just beginning to develop and deploy. And in applying your abilities and potential, you need quite simply to be bold, because that's how one person changes the world. The ideas, programs, efforts, and people that truly make a difference are connected by common themes of bold decisions and a strong belief in the possibility of success. This afternoon's honorary degree recipient, Michael Deere, is a geographer who worked to help lift the most vulnerable people in our society. He championed their issues. His bold insights have put him at the front lines of a debate that is both philosophically and practically one of the most divisive of our times, border security. If you want to make a better, brighter community, nation, or even world, you need to follow a path that's paved with bold decisions, bold ideas, and bold effects. And the bravery of those moments may influence millions of people, or perhaps just a few, or simply one, but your bravery will be worth it. As McMaster grads, you are as prepared as anyone to navigate that kind of path. We are incredibly proud of the work and accomplishments that have brought you here today. When you receive your diploma from McMaster, you will note that there's only one name on it, yours. But I suspect there are many people who have helped you get to the day of your graduation, family members, friends, teachers, mentors who have supported, inspired, and cheered you on. I hope you'll take some time to thank those who've helped you to get to this afternoon. The end of your studies and the granting of your degree may feel like you're crossing a finish line, but you're actually just beginning, and we wish you all the best in your journey. If you read the convocation program closely, you might notice that my last few minutes at the microphone are supposed to be the President's address. As Provost and Vice President Academic, it has been my sincere privilege to speak in the President's place this afternoon. I also have the distinct honor of inviting our Chancellor to offer her thoughts. After 6 years of service, this is the final week she will preside over McMaster's convocations. She has served the McMaster community with grace and distinction through every moment of her often demanding responsibilities. And as a McMaster grad herself, she sets a wonderful example for her fellow alumni and certainly for the class of 2019. It is my great pleasure to introduce our Chancellor, Dr. Suzanne Lavarge.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar, and congratulations to the class of 2019. I'm one of those 200,000 other alumni who are going to be looking forward to see where you go from here. But I must say, as your valedictorian reminded me, and as Dr. Farrar said, I'm facing some of the brightest minds in Canada. After all, you are McMaster graduates. And so I think we can expect great things and look forward. And given the challenges that Dr. Farrar outlined, we're grateful that you're the next generation. I look at you today with envy. Now, I must say, I don't want to start all over again from where you are, but I do remember when I did graduate. I knew what I was going to do the next year, but had no idea where that would lead. And I can assure you, where I ended up bore no relationship to anything I could have thought of at that age. And you've got even more opportunities and more challenges facing you, and an environment that in many ways is so ready for the skills that you offer. And so I think you've got a wonderful time in front of you, and I just want to wish you all the very best. Now I get to make the final announcements as well to close convocation. I would ask that you please remain standing at your seats until the academic procession and the graduates have left the hall. Finally, please join now in the singing of our national anthem. After the singing of the anthem, this convocation stands adjourned.
We stand